Welcome to a beginner's guide to computer parts. In this video, we will be discussing the various components that make up a computer and their functions. Whether you're a beginner or just looking to refresh your knowledge, this video will provide you with a comprehensive understanding of computer parts. Computers have become an integral part of our daily lives, and it's essential to know how they work. Understanding the different parts of a computer can help you troubleshoot problems, upgrade your system, or even build your own computer. In this video, we will cover the following components: Central Processing Unit CPU, Random Access Memory RAM, Hard Disk Drive HDD or Solid State Drive SSD, Motherboard, Power Supply Unit BSU. So, let's get started and dive into the world of computer parts. The Central Processing Unit CPU is often referred to as the brain of the computer. It's responsible for executing instructions and performing calculations. The CPU is a small chip that is located on a motherboard and is responsible for processing all the data that is sent to it. The Control Unit and the Arithmetic Logic Unit. The Control Unit is responsible for fetching instructions from memory and executing them, while the Arithmetic Logic Unit performs mathematical operations. The speed of the CPU is measured in gigahertz, and the higher the gigahertz, the faster the CPU can process data. CPU come in different types, such as Intel and AMD, and each has its own set of specifications. When choosing a CPU, it's essential to consider the type of work you'll be doing on your computer. If you're a gamer or a video editor, you'll need a CPU with a higher clock speed and more cores. However, if you're using your computer for basic tasks like browsing the internet or word processing, a lower-end CPU will suffice. In summary, the CPU is the most critical component of a computer, and it's essential to choose the right one for your needs. Random Access Memory RAM is a type of computer memory that stores data temporarily. It's a volatile memory, which means that it loses its data when the computer is turned off. RAM is essential for running applications and programs on your computer. When you open an application or program, it's loaded into the RAM. The more RAM you have, the more applications and programs you can run simultaneously. RAM is measured in gigabytes GB, and the more GB you have, the better your computer's performance will be. There are different types of RAM, such as DDR3 and DDR4, and each has its own set of specifications. When choosing RAM, it's essential to consider the type of motherboard you have, as not all motherboards support all types of RAM. Upgrading your RAM is an easy way to improve your computer's performance. If you find that your computer is running slow or struggling to run multiple applications, upgrading your RAM may be the solution. In summary, RAM is an essential component of a computer, and having enough RAM is crucial for running applications and programs smoothly. The Hard Disk Drive HDD and Solid State Drive SSD are both types of storage devices used in computers. The HDD is the traditional storage device that has been used for decades, while the SSD is a newer technology that has become increasingly popular in recent years. The HDD uses spinning disks to store data, while the SSD uses flash memory. The SSD is faster and more reliable than the HDD, but it's also more expensive. The HDD is slower but more affordable and has a larger storage capacity. When choosing a storage device, it's essential to consider your needs. If you need a lot of storage space and don't mind slow speeds, the HDD is a good option. However, if you need faster speeds and don't mind paying more, the SSD is the way to go. It's also worth noting that many computers use both an HDD and an SSD. The operating system and frequently used programs are stored on the SSD for faster access, while less frequently used files are stored on the HDD for cheaper storage. In summary, the HDD and SSD are both important storage devices used in computers, and choosing the right one depends on your needs and budget. The motherboard is the main circuit board of a computer. It's responsible for connecting all the components of the computer, such as the CPU, RAM, and storage devices. The motherboard also contains other important components, such as the BIOS basic input/output system and the chipset. When choosing a motherboard, it's essential to consider the type of CPU you'll be using, as not all motherboards support all types of CPUs. It's also important to consider the number of expansion slots and ports available, as this would determine the number of components you can add to your computer. The Power Supply Unit PSU is responsible for providing power to all the components of the computer. It's essential to choose a PSU that can provide enough power for all the components in your computer. The wattage of the PSU should be higher than the total wattage of all the components in your computer. When building a computer, it's important to choose components that are compatible with each other. It's also important to ensure that the PSU can provide enough power for all the components. In summary, the motherboard and PSU are essential components of a computer, and choosing the right ones is crucial for building a stable and reliable system.